first, or go ahead.
No, I wanted to know what Tone believed in. Even see him, I know he'd be talking a lot of the gematria type of stuff though.
Yeah.
But what kind of book do you subscribe to? If you subscribe to any books at all, Tone, what book do you subscribe to?
So okay, my thing is, man, I've always been spiritual, but I've always wanted just answers to God and just all this Jesus, all this, because none of it really just made sense to me. So I started reading, and then I started looking in the Torah when it said it's the original covenant, that every religion is every religion's foundation is the covenant, right? So I started reading it, and it made sense because everything that's wrong in this world today is what these religions have done to violate their original covenant. And see, the covenant's not a religion. The covenant, it's a binding agreement between God and a specific people, Israel. So that's why it's not even for everybody, unless you want to kind of convert, I guess, but it's for Israel. Israel is a people. So it's for me. It's for all of us on this panel right now, as a matter of fact. It's for us. It ain't for these Edomites and all that, unless they want to convert over. This is our covenant between us and the Most High. And it says, "You shall be my treasured people, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation." That's Exodus 19:5-6. When I started reading all that, everything started making sense to me, because I can see, man, how all these religions have ruined this world we live in.
Based off subscribe to the Torah. So you would subscribe more to the Torah, more to a Judaic belief.
No. See, so Judaism
the Torah
is religion that's based off the Torah, just like Christianity. So
okay, so you don't believe in the religiosity of it?
No, because see, here's a problem with Judaism. You have the oral Torah, and that's when you get these rabbis. And like I said earlier, rabbi means master, and God only tells you in the covenant there's only one master, and they start idolizing this rabbi. So that's where they stirred away from the covenant. Christianity has the same way. Catholicism has the same way. Islam has the same way. I just actually did a 1,000 violation from every single religion and section in the world, and how they violate the original covenant. And every single religion violates it. And those violations are what's going on in this world today that's causing problems. If you obey the original covenant, you don't have these problems until man puts his twist on it. Sick man. And when man
so you agree? So you don't agree with the New Testament
at all? No, sir. Nope. Because in the original covenant, it never speaks of Jesus. It says you get to me through me. You don't get to me through another man. And Jesus is a man. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't speak of heaven and hell as a place you go for judgment in the original covenant. So why would I? Okay, so every religion's based off this original covenant. Why would I go against it when it says you should never change, add, or subtract from it ever? And I can read you the verse where it says that.
But even in there, let's say there, right? Let's say you take the Old Testament, right? Because there's a lot of things that's in there. It's a bunch of laws in there, right? It's like, how much laws? 300, 600? It's a whole bunch of laws, like 300 and something laws, right?
600.
So, 600 and something. I get lost with the number 600.
But even the Old Testament,
But if you take that,
books,
right?
they got books removed
in the
like
Old
the
Testament, right? Let's say, like in the Old Testament, got things like dietary laws, right? When a woman's on her menstruation, laws and laws like that and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm,
do you believe in those laws, like those things that's in there?
Yeah, I do.
So do you like eat shrimp, crab, like lobster, pork? Do you eat any of those like stuff?
I used to. I stopped.
You stopped those things. And you're vegan. Okay, cool. I just asking.
I don't eat any of that.
Once I got introduced to the Torah,
I don't eat other stuff either.
Once I got introduced to the Torah, I stopped all those wicked ways that I had, bro. I stopped, and it was weird because the more I started reading the Torah, they say, man, it's hard to stop a habit. It's not, bro. Once you find the word, and I'm trying to tell you, I was out there. So for me to be able to just cold turkey, stop smoking weed, cigarettes, stop trying to go smash on these chicks, and it doesn't even bother me. It don't even come to my mind no more ever since I've been reading this book. It's like everything makes sense now. Literally. And every time I see a Christian, a Catholic, or any of these people argue over it, I'm laughing because I'm like, y'all are arguing and y'all are really agreeing to the same thing, but there's a few differences that are off, but those few differences make both of y'all wrong. So the Christians are right in some places, the Catholics are right in some places, but they're both wrong still. There's only one way, and that's through the covenant. I encourage you to go to Safaria and go start reading the covenant, bro. It's the first 5 books.
Let me add on.
All
Let
you
me
need.
add on to the Israel is the people part. So we're all true Israel. So that's why these other religions are out of order, because they go like to people who aren't Israel to get the word. How does that work? If God only had his favorite,
we're
people,
supposed
we
to
go
spread
through
the
his
word.
favorite people to get the word. Like we have the most knowledge. Just look at our voice cords when we talk. Like you can hear the vibration of it when we say things. Like that's why it kills me when Dante Berry tries to assume like Tone knows me personally. Tone, I've done great things. So is Tone by myself. Can't nobody say nothing about me, like as far as the way I'm living or my family, like on the outside or
Yeah,
Tone's
but
family.
I mean, but what have you done that a Christian hasn't done? That
Let's see. I'm teaching the word the correct way. I might not be the best signal of it, but I'm going to say that.
I'm teaching
And
it the
you're going to
correct
feel
way,
my
but everybody that's teaching is gonna think they're teaching it the correct way. Like,
I'm not
what
teaching
can?
through religion. I'm teaching through the word. I'm
But I
teaching
mean,
to you. I'm teaching
there's a
like you. Like
there's
there's a reason.
10,000
My bad
people
interruption, bro.
online that teach. There's 10,000 people online that teach things and they think it's the correct way. Like, what is
So
a factor that we can see and everybody can see and say, hey, this guy really is an ascended master because he's got this over all the Christians. Like,
Are you talking about
I'll tell you.
material
I'll tell you.
or
no,
Go
it
read
just
the covenant.
just anything. Like, to me, if I have some the oil reached my 33rd ventricle and all that type of stuff, I should be able to heal
you mean your
people.
Kundalini energy to reach your 33rd vertebrae?
I should be able to do miracles. You know what I'm saying? I should be able to do something to show this. But
I mean, this
if
is a
if you
miracle
can
right
only
here.
do the
Like,
same thing,
Witchcraft.
if you can only
yeah.
do the same thing everybody else can do, which is get on and teach about what you think is
All right,
correct. I
this
mean,
what I'm gonna do
that's a
for you.
difference.
I'm gonna go get a mask. I'm gonna get a cape. I'm gonna get some underwear and put them on top of my tights, and I'm gonna try to jump out a window. I'm gonna call myself Superman. Is that what you want me to see me do?
If you fly, then that would be something
Here's the thing,
to show a
You're
Dante.
distinction.
trolling. Come on now.
Dante.
Well, that
So
would
so
be
so Dante, the covenant tells us that Israel, the people, we're supposed to be the priests and spread the gospel to everybody. Okay. So what I'm doing is by reading this covenant, what I'm spreading the gospel to you, and I'm doing it for free. I'm not wanting nothing out of it, and I'm not trying to change you. I'm just trying to show you what the original book says, and that's the book that says we need to follow it. All these other westernized little things that religions and these other religions, they come later, thousands of years later. So why would you take a roadmap and follow a 2,000-year-old roadmap to a destination that's 3,000 years old? You won't
We
get there.
don't even do that. We follow the new GPSs.
That's what I'm saying. So why would you follow the new GPS when it only takes you 2,000 miles and the actual location you're trying to get to is 3,000 miles? You won't get there.
You know what my thing is? My thing is this, right? Because I believe in Jesus, though. I believe in Jesus, and I don't take nothing from Jesus. I don't. But no, but after Jesus. But I'm just saying. My thing is like how Christians believe, because I'm not a Christian, but how Christians believe that, like, I believe that they believe in something that's like automatic. You know what I'm saying? Like they could sin and then it's just all good. It's absolved. Like my Christian friends, it's just absolved. You know what I mean? All I got to do right now is just believe right now and all my sins is absolved. But 9 times out of 10, we're not perfect and we're going to change and we might do something bad again because we're not perfect and God knows that. Ain't none of us perfect. We're human, right?
Yeah,
So I kind of believe in manual sinning, transgression, how we transgress. We manually doing it. We know what the hell we be doing. And I think you got to manually repent for it. Yeah, Jesus could have died for us and all of these things, but still in all, Jesus came to show us more than him just dying. Jesus came to show us an example of how we could kind of live, how people could minister to the poor, be a certain kind of an individual as well. You feel me? Because Jesus don't want you to praise him. I don't see Jesus ever saying that he wants somebody to praise him in the Bible. You know what I mean? So I think Jesus came to show us things too. So I don't disregard Jesus, even though Jesus could be wherever, because even the Old Testament prophesies about Jesus as well. You know what I mean?
Well, it had a different name, but this is basically showing you that you have to have that right prophet, like we've been talking, to teach you the word the right way, like I've been saying. So I feel like you like to be that prophet to be like a Jesus, like, because what was his name before Jesus? Yeshua. It's pretty much the same prophet that is teaching.
Could be.
Like,
Some people might argue that. Some people might argue that is Yeshua's
and the most.
What kind of names they gonna say possibly?
And that's the thing. So I feel honestly that these other religions were made to justify their sins, that they knew they wanted to sin and they wanted to say, okay, but since we can we're saved. Jesus saved us, whatever, for our sins for dying on the cross. That's their justification for their foul ways, because you don't have to live foul. You have a choice. You can be righteous your whole life. I don't care what anyone says. You have a freaking choice. So when you choose to sin, you didn't have to sin. Nobody forced you to sin. You chose to sin. So all I'm saying is, when they add these new doctrines into this stuff, man, they're doing it to justify their ill ways. And it tells you this in the covenant, man. Don't do that. And that's why they do it, to gain wealth, to gain power, to gain control. So let me ask you this, Dante. If right now you literally figured out there was no heaven and no hell and no judgment, would that change the way you're living?
Dante's gone.
Yes.
I think Dante dropped off.
So let me ask any of y'all. If you found out there's no heaven and no hell and no judgment, would it change the way you live?
I still believe what I believe in.
But what I'm asking you is, if right now you realize there is no heaven and no hell, would you do things that right now that you know could possibly get you passage to hell? That you wouldn't do now? Would you go and do them now, since you know there's no judgment?
No, I would still feel the same way about them and the same things. I still would feel the same way about those things. Yeah. So I wouldn't go and do them. Or if I did it, I still feel like it was. Yeah.
Here's a real question.
Let me ask this: so when you do them, why do you feel like
do you pray to Jesus when you pray?
When you do it, though, but when you do it, what makes you feel like you sin? The religion that you worship.
Because of religion has a lot to play with good and evil.
Thank you. And that's
good and evil and morality. You know what I'm saying? Morality,
but
good and evil. That's the whole thing. That's just.
But where do you get the morality from? Who gives you the morality? Did you get it from a preacher? The religion?
I had read something one day, yo, that kind of explained that, but I can't even think of how they explained it.
Look, check this, bro. Check this. Don't read no other manuscript. Just go read the covenant. It tells you.
The Bible will tell you too. I know that. I don't know where I read it. I don't know where. But I
don't read it. Don't read no outside stuff. Just trust me. Just read the government.
Do you think Jesus is God? Like, do you think like Jesus is Most High?
Who?
To me, I don't believe. I believe that Jesus is Jesus. I don't believe that Jesus is God. I don't.
That's all we're saying. We're not discrediting.
I believe in Jesus, though. At one point, I think I blasphemed as a younger person because all of the stuff that I was reading, because I've read different ways of life, apocryphas, so many things, Maccabees. I didn't read everything from a young person, all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it was just confusing my mind a lot. I don't know, but in the Bible, Jesus doesn't say he's God. You know what I mean? And Jesus references the Father apart from himself. And Jesus, even, like he doesn't want nobody to follow him. He doesn't, even though people are going to follow him because he's Jesus, he lit. But it's not like Jesus ever really wanted people. Jesus was like humble. I think Jesus was just different. So I don't know.
So why would you follow a new book that an old book tells you don't fall into?
I don't know. When I was younger, I read the New Testament more, and I read a lot of it, you know what I'm saying? Because my mom is Baptist and stuff. So I read that. I used to read Revelation. I remember being young, like 9 years old, trying to break down Revelations, the seventh trumpet blown, and all this other stuff. I remember reading these things and trying to break them down as a kid, you know what I mean? As I grow older, I think I believe more in the Old Testament more than the New Testament.
I believe in
something about
the
New Testament. I don't know if I don't like it, but I don't know how we have laws and certain things that is just done away with now, and now we just got this new set of stuff now because we got things like dietary laws, right? So whatever. Yes. Now we can do whatever, but then we got to look at a woman's on her menstruation period. She's supposed to be unclean for a little moment, and then we get back after she got, you know what I mean? Which makes sense. She unclean for a little 7 days, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense, kind of logically. You know what I mean? So it's things in it in that Old Testament and some of them laws that I think, like, why would that be just done away with? We could still be using some of those things to help us to be good or better people right now.
80 books that got removed, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think some things could still be used well. I don't know. That's my perspective.
Yeah, well, why not?
Now it's crazy because
why not use that stuff?
The things you're seeing that need to be changed. The things you're seeing that need to be changed. That's the problem with the New Testament. That's why these things are happening, because of this new man-made stuff they're adding to it, bro. If you would just follow the old covenant, everybody would just follow the original covenant. We wouldn't be having wars. We wouldn't be having homeless people. We wouldn't be having this stuff out here. But all these new doctrines that they add into these new books.
You know what the real
husband, like God, like it says in the Bible.
Wakanda was
Instead
the
of
real
them thinking
me.
they're independent and what and their man's the government.
Yeah.
So,
Wakanda
I'm
was
not
the
trying
real
to take
me.
it to women, but
But-
it's just like you can see what's natural and what's not. Like it's like I was saying earlier, there's a creator and a creation. And if you think about on earth, that's done in heaven, it will be done on earth. Man and woman create, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had to just believe straight because
black men and black
it's real.
women happen to create the strongest kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
Right,
like I try to say, Genesis
Jenny,
1.
you're laughing. Is it something that they're saying? Go ahead, sweetheart. Go ahead.
I wish Jenny would say something.
She's learning right now.
Go ahead.
Nah, Jenny got some balls for us.
I brought up women.
Jenny about to got some balls on us.
Hold on, Jenny. Go ahead, sweetheart.
I'm just listening to all of this, and it's just
Give
you
me
know,
something.
it's just really unfortunate that
Hey,
people are so confused when the truth is so clear and so plain. Red Wine, he said in the comments that Jesus said all over the Bible that he's God, and he does in the Old and New Testament, because Jesus did not come on the scene in the New Testament. He had incarnations in the Old Testament. Hold on a second.
Yep.
you know, I understand it, bro. I get it, Jenny. I do. You know, because I've read a lot of things, and I think some of those things started to derail my brain, maybe because I started to read about like what all this stuff, because I wanted to learn, like teach myself languages, teach myself Hebrew so I could read this and read that, and like I wanted to really understand stuff. You know what I mean? So like Catholicism, like okay, then it led me down a road of Constantine the Great and him commissioning Catholic to be a worldwide religion at some point, and the Romans was persecuting the Christians at the time, so maybe that was used for their benefit at the time, some things. And then you go into Nicaea councils, so some of these things may start to get your mind down a rabbit hole. When I started reading that at a young age too, I think it could take your mind to some places, you know.
Hang tight. Thanks so much, Uda. Ryan with the $20 super chat. Salute to you, buddy. CT, religion should be private. God damn it. What's going on here? You are the goat. I think it should be private, actually. To be completely honest with you. Go ahead.
Religion did used to be private. It used to be tribal.
Well, let's hear from Jenny real quick. Jenny, what say you, man? Go ahead.
What say you, Jenny? You got a feedback crazy.
Oh, that's probably me. That's why I keep muting whenever I'm not talking, is because I think it's my mic that's
You're
having
fine,
the
Jenny. Go ahead.
feedback.
Go ahead, sweetheart.
But yeah, so salvation is simple. The most important things that you need to understand are very simple in the Bible. The deity of Christ, salvation is easy, it's free. Elder was saying that he went vegan and that he does all this stuff. I mean, you know, if you want to be vegan, you know, God bless you. You know, all this stuff that people do to try to appease God and try to get to God, it's all in vain, because your good will never outweigh your bad. And we've all sinned. We're all sinners, and we all sin every day. And so us trying to make up for what we've done by topping on good deeds on top of that it's fruitless. The same way that if you were going to go to trial for killing someone, you can't say to the judge, oh, well, I cleaned up all the trash in my city and I donated my kidney and I, you know, sang in the choir. So I think you should let me off for, you know, getting rid of this person.
Murder and not eating dead animals is very kind of being judged.
I can see what you're saying though, Jenny. I can see what you're saying though.
So yeah,
see what you're saying, because it makes zero sense. It falls back to
Nah, in some sense, she could. I think it kind of made some sense.
eating an apple instead of an animal versus killing
You have-
somebody is much than getting
You
judged.
have unclean animals and you have clean animals. In the covenant, the covenant tells you specifically which
Is that
animals are
back in the
clean.
day or
and which
current?
animals
Because,
aren't
most
clean.
animals right now are
Birds,
farm,
certain birds,
even
pigs,
like pigs right now
shellfish.
aren't great.
What you said? Did you say
Are-
today is
Are
different?
modern,
Yeah, those are
like
clean
the
animals.
farm animals now, like they're really not unclean, to be honest with you, right? Like pigs, right? Pigs are raised on farms, right? They're not really eating the
Yeah,
city's
they're-
trash anymore.
They're unclean because of the amount of parasites they have in the meat.
They're unclean. And let me tell you something.
Are
And-
they?
and-
I
and
mean,
let me tell you something. When a
modern
pig's about to
pigs
die,
right now,
but
you
that
let
is-
they're
sauce
not
in it.
unclean anymore. The
They've been-
dietary restrictions are done away
I
with.
mean, that was back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean,
What? No,
I can't do away with
No,
that
no,
though,
no.
Jenny. I can't do away with that though. This was on the
They're
like.
not. That's why when
I
a
don't
pig
know, Jenny.
but
dies,
stuff like when it comes to dietary,
when a pig
you can
dies,
just-
it lets
you can
off a
just
poison
research.
out of its body. That's why when you go by a slaughterhouse, you can smell it.
Yeah, I don't
Because it
beat
knows
that.
it's about to be
Yeah, but
slaughtered.
look,
It
all you
lets
gotta
off
do
this
is-
reek.
Just do your
Yeah,
research
Tone,
on.
hey, Tone,
Just
hey,
do your
Tone,
research on those
Tone,
animals.
Tone. Don't
agree, Dante.
pigs produce like belts
Yo,
and other
yo.
like material? Like, is the poison in the belts or is it poison in like any other material? Like,
In the meat when you eat it.
is
No,
It
it
has to
really?
be
when you
adjusted.
when you
But no,
ingest it, when you eat
CT,
it,
all you have
when
to
it goes
do.
because look,
This
okay,
is not
okay,
philosophical.
let me ask you a question.
Hold on, Tone.
Let me
None
ask
of
you a
this is
question.
philosophical. All you have to do
When
is
you eat,
research it scientifically. This is not a philosophical when it comes to the animals.
Yeah.
Clearly, y'all never
The
seen
meat.
Soylent Green.
You,
This
No,
is
now,
nonsense.
no, I'm
it doesn't
asking.
have to be. It doesn't have to be a religious thing or a philosophical thing. If you just study on what's the best meat to eat and what's the best meat not to eat, based on a whole lot of different studies, it doesn't have to be a religious thing to
Wait a minute.
take that out.
Wait a minute.
so why
Hold
would
on,
you go
guys,
study
real quick.
something
Well,
that
guys,
your
real
creator
quick.
told you?
Guys,
Your
real quick.
creator told
Guys, real quick. Pigs are in soap, shampoo, conditioners, toothpaste, cosmetics, deodorant, crayons, paints, adhesive, lubricants, jello, gelatin, marshmallows, leather, suede, upholstery.
Yeah.
How poisonous are pigs, to be honest with you? Like they're part of our
Everything.
ecosystem.
Look at all the
Like,
diseases we got out here.
That's
like,
why they
Answer
put it
me,
in
why
there.
all these
Brainwashing
diseases-
us.
How do you think these diseases come?
That's why it's put in everything.
How do you think all these different diseases come?
Why.
Just do your
We
research
got
on it.
different
Do
types of
research on it.
diseases.
Okay,
We got different types of-
Tone, what diseases are you talking about?
Well, like trichnosis.
So I'm just
type
saying
thing.
diseases in general. Look at all the different type of diseases that are out here in this world. How do you not know it's not coming from the shampoo in our hair? So look,
Trichnosis
this
is one
world
of
we live in, I look at it kind of like the devil's playground. So you're gonna have
Well, half
all
the
these people
Negroes
that are
are
in
bald,
control and
so
in
you're not
power
using no
feeding us
shampoo, but-
poison. They're giving us poison. They're teaching us poison. They don't even give us the right education. They only give us 5%, 10% of our brain to use when we should really
You
be
can
activating
Google
90%
the
of it.
actual parasite. You can Google the actual I think the one guy just said it. One of them is trichinosis.
Trichnosis is one of
Yeah.
them for a fact. The trichnosis
You
for
can
a fact.
Google the
Yeah,
actual
tapeworms,
parasite.
off my head.
hookworms, all type of
I'm
stuff.
telling you off my brain that. I know that for a fact. That's a fact. Trichnosis.
Hang tight for me, guys. Too much N-word babble. Hang tight. Wait a minute. Nah, hold on for a second. Now y'all brought up pigs, right? Are pigs really that bad? I mean, like, Jenny, how bad are pigs?
I absolutely reject all of this anti-pig propaganda. The
Yeah.
New Testament says that the dietary restrictions are done away with in Jesus' name. Okay. So you eat your pig and you eat, all that other stuff that was done away with. You eat your catfish.
I kind of
and
want to
you
kill a
pray over it.
pig right now and eat it right now.
It's good. It is good for the body. And people, they try to bring up all this ridiculous stuff, this anti-swine propaganda. They'll say, "Oh, look at swine under a microscope. Look at pig flesh under a microscope. See, there's parasites on it." Yeah, that's why we cook it. That's why we cook our food, to kill off the parasites.
Yeah, you kill off. Yeah, but Jenny, you know what I find really funny? Overnight, even, and I'm not talking about people on the panel, but like even like the most non-scientific literate people, if you look under a microscope, like, you haven't used a microscope since 3rd grade. You stop it. I think it is like propaganda against these pigs because like most animals are raised on farms. Like most of our food is produced on farms. Even like fish, like they create. You ever see like these big ships and they have like salmon, like they capture the salmon and like they just. Yeah, it's like they're separated from these whatever, I don't know where salmon are really from, right? Like whether the ocean or the sea, I don't know, lakes, but they don't. Yeah, it's really weird how we've been like programmed to think that some of these animals are really bad and they're not. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, it's Judaizing, and the Bible once again warns against that. Bewaring of people abstaining from meats. And so people, they want to get you off on this, get you back on the Old Testament. They want to get you back under the Old Covenant, and it's trash. Don't buy into it, friends.
I'm not saying that. I'm not
going
gonna see that. That's how come I know it ain't her, because I'm not gonna say that. Whether you read the New Testament or the Old Testament, read whatever you want, whatever brings you close to God, bring you close to God. But I'm saying Jesus gave them pigs a sandal to that ass and kicked them in that sea for a reason, bruh. They had to get up in that water, bruh.
That's why when
If
you take a pig and a pig goes wild, after 2 weeks, it turns into a hog and it grows tusks and the teeth change. It's not even the same type of.
Serious? That's how that happens. Don't say that.
No,
For
it's
real?
not.
Yeah, that's how they
That's
turn into
not what
hogs.
that
That's
means.
how that
A
happens
hog
for
is-
real? No,
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 a pink pig.
that can't be
is a
real,
hog.
bro.
it's not
No,
real.
that's how.
It's
That's
Oh,
how
okay,
dogs
they
go.
had me. Jenny, they almost had me. I said that can't be real.
Let me say something. Let me say something. A pig, a pink pig. If
That's
it
a
gets
different
off the
breed,
farm,
right?
It goes into the wild, and it goes
A
into the wild.
hog
for
is
2
a
weeks.
male pig. A pig is a female.
A male
No,
pig's a
okay.
but
boar.
what I'm saying is,
A male pig's
when
a boar. Quit
they
lying to people.
leave
It's a
the
boar.
farm and they go into the wilderness, that's how they turn into a
Oh,
hog.
male pig is a
Go
boar.
look on it.
A boar is a male pig.
So what's a
A
hog?
boar, yeah, whatever you call it, yeah. Those,
So
and they
what the hell
eat
is a hog?
humans. And they
You
eat
know,
Hog
humans.
is what he said.
They probably laboratory made that.
again,
What's that difference?
It's the
it's
same
like
thing.
people.
Hog, a boar.
I've been to TDC. I worked on a pig farm in prison. It was the most. I mean, my dad raised us on no pork. Like we couldn't even eat Oreos or hot Cheetos. Or my dad would whoop us. We couldn't even queso because of that. So when I worked on a hog barn, I found out how nasty pigs really are. And I told him this before. Like pigs can't even look at the sky.
They
You
can't
know
look
that?
at the sky. They're demons.
They can't.
And when God,
No. They
when
can't.
God brought the demons, when
This is
when God
ridiculous.
sent the demons into the pig pen, all the pigs ran. Remember that when they talk about how
Yeah.
God sent the demons into the pig pen?
How-
Yeah, man.
Let me have the floor for a second. So when I went to I was on a trustee camp and I worked on a hog barn. I had to wake up at 6 a.m. and go to the thing. I worked in the feed part where it was like 4 pens and like where they would basically after they got bred by the boars, the artificial insemination, they would be over there like we'd have to clean out the pens and stuff. They're the worst animal. They eat each other when they die. If one dies, they're gonna eat each other. They're the only animal that does that.
They'll eat you.
They'll eat us. That's why we start spraying the pens from the outside. What else? The white boys, what they would do, they would get up at 5 a.m. They would go and masturbate the boars to get the semen for the artificial insemination and to give to the pigs. They're disgusting. And then here's another thing about meat in general, about the parasites and everything. Like, how do you know what is a beef? Can you explain to me what a beef is? And if a chicken,
Well,
if a chicken is
cow?
an African jungle fowl and that other bird, aren't they splicing these animals in?
Well, in America they are.
The cows and chickens were spliced a long time ago, probably hundreds or thousands of years ago.
That's what I'm saying.
To
So
be meat.
what is a beef then? Why do we have all these chicken places, no chicken farms?
They
We
were
got chicken place on every corner.
What do you mean there are no
Regardless
chicken
of all-
The
farms?
chicken got 2 arms.
Regardless of all of that, a cow isn't an uncleansed animal.
oh, he's saying
Every
that they're-
animal's
that they're
unclean because they got spliced.
No, it's
We're
not.
not supposed
No,
to be
it's
animals
not.
anyway.
If it's spliced, that's different. But it
Did
tells
he
you.
not just say all animals got spliced?
I don't know which ones got spliced, but I'm
your
just telling you in the original
domesticated
covenant what it
your
says are
domesticated
the unclean
animals were
animals.
spliced. Your domesticated
course it-
animals were spliced and they were created for human consumption,
Yep.
not pigs, but cows, chickens, stuff like that.
Yeah, we can eat those.
They got us.
I don't think we should be eating any type of animal because it still has a consciousness.
You can't even trust it no more. We need to quit.
I can tell you every uncleansed animal if y'all want to know.
I'm
They're
about to
all
quit them, though.
unclean.
I'm about to quit all of them now.
We
But
are-
I'm telling
yeah,
you,
I
I need to
think
quit all animals.
we all
right
know
now.
that.
We can't even
Should,
trust
because-
certain vegetables. We can't even trust certain vegetables. It's crazy, bro.
Well, you
Yeah,
know they're putting
I think we
RNA.
most
They're
definitely
putting
need to cut
RNA.
all animals.
So they're getting rid of GMO and they're putting RNA in the plants. Those RNAs, they have this genetic that can actually find.
Yeah,
a
I'm about
certain
to
gene.
quit plant. I mean,
But
animals.
even
I think.
marijuana, they're even putting
Hopefully
RNA in
for the
marijuana.
But guess what?
So
They
that's
can
why
put
you got a lot
whatever
of
and whatever.
marijuana.
It's still that animal still had a family. The animal still was put into slavery like we did as the cattle for human.
They ain't had a soul, bro. They ain't had a soul,
They
bro.
had a soul.
Animals don't have souls. Their lives don't matter.
What? Hold up. A tree has a soul.
Here's how you know they have
Don't do that.
souls.
No,
Here's how you know
tree-
they have souls.
A tree has a
Here's
soul.
how you know they
bro.
have souls.
Don't do
No.
that.
I ran over a
Don't they
duck
have
the
4
other
eyes
day.
and a heartbeat or 2 eyes and a heartbeat?
I ran over a duck. The other day, and when I came back home, the other ducks were having a funeral service for it. I promise you, they were all right
No, they
there.
weren't.
By the dead one,
You-
they looked like a
what
funeral
you did
service.
was that
I'm
you
like, man.
personified what the ducks were doing because that you projected your consciousness onto them. They were not having a funeral service for their duck.
You know, so Jenny, so what is it? So why would all these ducks be standing over a dead one when they weren't there at first? They weren't
Okay, if
eating
you
it.
want to go that route, since we're talking about food, can I project my consciousness on these mashed potatoes I'm about to eat? And
That's
are we gonna have a mashed potato funeral? Because I'm about to run these mashed potatoes over.
They're pretty like
If
family.
you wanted to do that, you could.
You can't because that mashed potato doesn't have 2 eyes and a heartbeat.
2 eyes and a heartbeat does not make you conscious. That doesn't
It
give you a
doesn't?
soul. No,
Okay,
it
so
doesn't.
You might be right. 'cause look at
I
this,
think
people
at
walking
some
around
point in
Earth nowadays.
time we won't need
You
to
got to
eat
remember,
meat anymore.
see him?
But I do think we need
You
it
got
for certain nutrition right now. But I think at some point in time in the future, we won't need to eat animals anymore for
Well,
our
I don't think
nutrition.
we ever were. Look at all 3D printed meat.
well,
I think that's been going
well,
on
let
for
me
at
ask
least
you this:
40, 50 years.
you don't need animals to survive. So you
Yes,
don't
you
have
do.
to eat animals.
You
Look
No,
at
you
no,
need
Tom. Look at
animals.
Tom.
I've
What that
You
tried.
dude
need
tell your
I've
animals
dad
to
in
be
tried being
healthy.
vegan
1983
before,
at the
and it
airport?
didn't work.
So how's an elephant? How's an elephant just eat leaves and stuff, and it doesn't eat no meat, and it survives?
Gorillas too.
Because we're not elephants.
Bears
That's
too.
why.
But
Humans need to eat
I'll
animals to be
say I've
healthy.
tried that before, and I started having health problems from not eating meat.
That's
So
that's a that's a that's a relapse, not a health problem. Because Tone knows me personally. That's my people's. So I haven't ate meat, and next month will be a year, January 27th. My health has been probably the best it's ever been. You could ask someone, he knows me.
And
Does it
and
not
when
seem
you
like my
stop
health has
eating meat,
improved?
it's improved. And when you stop eating meat, more animals gravitate towards you. It's weird.
Yep.
You'll notice that. Literally, random animals will start coming. Because think about it: if you're killing animals and you're eating them, they're gonna smell that scent on you. They're gonna know, okay, this motherfucker's a killer. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, man. I don't
No
even eat meat no
remorse.
more. Telling you, and I'm healthy. Shoot.
I don't think it's more about what you eat. I think animals have their own type spirit, and I think they can sense shit in certain people.
Yep.
I do think that animals do sense that in people, bro. I do believe that they got their own kind of spirit going on, and they just got their own thing.
What Tom was
You
trying to
gotta
say,
remember, Christians straight Mother Nature, so they justify
they'll
all
rock with
that.
an animal will run up randomly and rock with one person and don't rock with nothing else, and no one else, and don't know nobody, like a random dog. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like some people just, I don't know. I think it's just crazy how that's
Well, animals can sense. They can sense your scent. They can smell your
kind of like
senses, so they
kids,
know.
kind of like little kids. They don't know too much. They
Yep.
ain't so smart. They don't know too much. But some kids, they don't like certain people.
Yep, they'll start
And
with
then some other people they'd be cool with, but it'd be this one person in the house, but they don't like them for some
And that
reason. They
person's
don't
probably
like
a pedophile.
Let me
Right?
answer that real quick.
Like a
Let me answer
kid.
that. You know what they were saying? Why we eat animals so young? Because of the adrenochrome. Kids have that adrenochrome, which is probably puts them closer to the Most High.
I believe that.
Well, you got to remember too. Think about it. We got ADD out here. We got bipolarness out here. We got autism spectrum. This is coming from the different things we're eating. Literally,
Yep.
we're putting it in our system.
The hereditary diabetes, with
The water's dead, all this stuff, and it's not made to kill you because if you're dead, they're not getting paid. They need us alive, but they need us to stay sick our whole life.
Yep.
So all these people, I promise you, are a dick hair away from a heart attack, and they don't even know it.
Don't even know it.
That has nothing to do with eating meat in general. That has something to do with the quality of the meat.
Yeah, Jenny, what you said, the quality of the meat?
It's the quality of the meat. It's not about eating meat in general. And just like people, they want to say that, oh, well, pigs are inherently dirty. That's not true either. Pigs adapt to whatever environment you put them in. There are people who own pigs and they're very clean, and so the pigs are clean. And so it's not about meat in general. It's about how stuff is. It's just like fruits or vegetables also.
You know, Jesus was plant-based, right?
Jenny, do you believe this? Look, Jenny, do you believe? Have you ever read about like the Nicene Council and that certain group of people or certain number of people were commissioned to pick certain manuscripts to go into the book, and some books was omitted out of the Bible that we see today, possibilities? Do you believe in this thing, which was a true council that taken place in history, a historical council that happened?
Did that happen like in the 13 or 1400s?
The Nicaea Council. Have you ever heard of the Nicaea Council? That's what I was asking you. You've heard of it? What is your thought on that, or how people may use that to say, okay, the Bible's tampered, or What's your thought towards those types of things?
Well, the fact of the matter is that if the Bible is inspired, which the Bible says that it's inspired, and so if we're going to trust it, then we should be able to trust that, the Bible says in all different places that God has preserved his word, that he has inspired his word, and that heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. And so if God would put through the effort to inspire his word, pass it down through over 40 different authors over the course of 1,400 years, over the course of 3 continents, why would he let it then get destroyed? He would, if he inspired it, then that means that he would preserve it. And so I believe that God's word has been preserved throughout the generations. And so that's why there are not books that have been lost or that were taken out. It's that the books that we no longer consider canon are the books that were not legitimate. And so the Apocrypha, the Ethiopian Bible, those are perversions of God's word. And what was passed down through the majority text, that is what we should be reading as God's word.
Real quick, Security Boss, thanks so much. We are with the $10 super chat. Tonight's Virtuous Woman Fund, love for Jenny. There we have it. Guys, please go over to SBU Live and support and subscribe to SBU Live. There we go. Guys, get the likes of guys, share the video. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Okay. So let me just say something. I think they keep those books out, like the book of Enoch and the Jubilee and all that, because those books, it kind of tells you who God's chosen people are. And all these other religions know that they aren't God's chosen people. They aren't Israel. So why would they go and tell their congregation who Israel really is? That's why they kept the books out. That's the truth. Because I mean, shit, if I'm a European, it's telling you you're not Israel. It tells you in the covenant you're not Israel. You're not God's chosen people. It's not saying you can't find your way to him. It's just saying you're not his chosen people.
Could that be the real reason Christopher Columbus came to America?
Christopher Columbus didn't even exist.
But I mean,
He's even real.
that was his name. But
Man, I thought he went to Haiti. I don't know, man. You put me on game. I thought he
You
went
know,
to Haiti. I had a whole nother story.
Christopher Columbus, they say he went to Africa. He had like a powwow with some Africans out there. And they showed him the channel to get, because there's 3 channels. One takes you to South America, one takes you to like the Bahamas, and one takes you to North America. The only reason he found out how to even get to America was from the Africans.
oh yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Then when he came to America and landed on the soil, he came and he just slaughtered, killed, and we were already here.
I don't know about him. Did he land here for real? For real?
Well, if
I
he
don't
was real,
know,
let me-
bro. I heard he was in the Caribbean, bro, chilling.
Yeah, I've heard that too. That he came to
I
South
heard-
I
America.
heard he never even made it here, bro. I heard
Well,
he
let me
made
ask
it
you
to like
this.
the Caribbean.
Why did every single when you look at like Ramses, these old pharaohs in Egypt, when they test their DNA or whatever, they're finding cocaine and they're finding tobacco. Now, tobacco is only growing in North America, and the
Coca leaves only grow in
cocoa
America
leaves
too.
were only in South America at the time.
Latin
So
countries, yeah.
how do you not believe that we weren't already here? Egyptians sailed over and traded with us and brought it back into Egypt. And when they died, and thousands of years later, they find their fossils and they're seeing these traces in their DNA. How did they get them? Obviously,
how even the old pharaohs, people don't want to talk about this. Like, you know, the animals that the pharaohs were in, the pictures in, all those animals are native to the Americas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you
Even
know what?
even the jaguars from is native in America. Like,
Here's a story I heard. It's a story I read, actually. I read a story. I do a lot of reading. But I read a story. This is her story, too. It's on Mansa Musa, right? Mansa Musa's predecessor, his name was Abu Bakr, right? So we always hear about Mansa Musa. He's the richest man and all that. That's the story. He made the pilgrimage to Mecca and all of that. Broke the economy, giving out gold. He broke the economy just passing out gold, right? But his predecessor was named Abu Bakr. This is a story. Y'all can research it for yourself, right? They say that he set out a journey from Mali off the back of the head, which is off the western coast of Africa, where Mali is. And they set out with like 200 boats, 100-something boats, some with water, some with gold, all type of things. They was going to discover land and go sailing around the world. He sent out a bunch of ships at first. And I guess a few, or maybe one or two, or supposed ships had returned. They say that this king, who was the king before Mansa's the first Musa, he did it again, built all the ships again, and he went on one of those ships though, but the ships never returned supposedly. And this is when Mansa Musa became the king and became the Musa, right? But then also when you're sailing off the western coast of Africa, there's a thing that exists there called the Canary Currents, which if you sail off the coast of Africa, it would just generally just push you to South America, push you to North America. Literally, it's like right in the middle of South America, North America. I could bring up right now the Canary Currents. It'll show you that there is a current that is right in the middle.
You talking about Drake's
literally
Passage?
sail them right there. I'll bring it up right now and show y'all real quick.
You talking Drake's Passage?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you right now. Why y'all talking? Get talk.
So check this. You know, when before Pangea and all that Africa was closer to
Right here.
Was it Pennsylvania? No, closer to New York.
I'm in New York.
So Africa was closer from Africa to New York than New York to California before Pangea. So they used to have what you call bearing land bridges or bearing land masses or whatever. Every so many years, the ocean would literally the water would like, I guess, create like a walkway, and you could just literally walk. So that's what I'm thinking happened back during Africa or whatever. They either used those boats that these Egyptians first made, or they might have used one of the Bering land masses and literally walked into America. We were already here.
Look out, Uda.
That's why you won't find no records
right
in
now.
Africa about slavery and slavery.
I don't know if
You
you were
won't
here
find none.
about it.
It's all European records.
Look out, Uda. I don't know if you were here about an hour ago. Are you familiar with the Jesus of Lubbock ship?
I've heard of it, but in what part? What you saying? In which aspect?
Well, that was the first slave ship allegedly in 1619, and then you have Jeremiah 16:19, which is my father have inherited lies, and you got to advance 400 years from 1619, and that would show that that's the end of the curse. I think, because why would the Jesus of Lubbock tie into the Jeremiah 16:19 like that? And that basically would show you, and like Tone said earlier, the Christianity is forced upon the slaves. Western Christianity.
Yeah, share my screen, CT.
That's why those Islam people over there in Africa are killing those Christians, because those French, when they invaded Africa, they went over there and they made them turn into Christians, and that's not who they are.
And this is the Canary Currents. As you can see, this is not that difficult to sail this. If you could make it, that don't mean that this ain't a difficult travel. It's crazy. Things getting lost in all of this too. Don't get it twisted. But as you can see, as the current, it'll just push you here. So they've been going to South America. They've been going to North America. They've been doing it and getting back. You got currents that's literally pushing you right back, bro.
But there's three
literally
currents.
sending you there and pushing you right back. Currents that's helping you. Besides the wind that you got to pray for a fair wind. You literally got these currents.
If you get on the wrong current, you're in trouble. You're not going to be able to come back out of it. That's what I'm saying. So you have to know the right current to take. And that's what Columbus did not know. That's what the Africans, because we were already here. We already came. Remember the ship you said that came back? That's the few ships that came back when the African king said, don't come back until you find land or until you run out of food. Some of them came back, but some of them never returned because they made it to America. We were already here. So this shit about slavery, and we got taken from Africa, 10 million slaves over how many years?
It was 20 million.
To America is a
20
lie.
million. They said it was 20 million. It's literally
I
impossible. You got to add on. Are y'all familiar with the Bermuda Triangle and Drake's Passage?
I believe they did that too, though. Probably. I believe that they was here. I believe that black people was here. We was already here. I believe that they did that too. I believe that they ran around and did that, bro.
Well, you got to think about how America does. Like, what is America?
The Mayans. The Mayans weren't no masterminds. We taught the Mayans. We taught them.
We are the Mayans, but you have to.
No, we're the Olmecs. We're the Olmecs, and the Mayans
too. We're the Mayans too.
We're later. Well, everybody's related to us because we're.
If you was running back in them days, if we was them and you was running back and you went to Africa and you seen the people look like this, yeah, bro, you'd have probably been like, these people ain't civilized. Nah, man, we got to put these people in the vans and put them in the. It's the vans back now. It's a van, but we gonna get them in a boat, bro. This is crazy.
Well, you gotta remember.
Yeah, real.
You gotta remember. I mean, remember when Fidel Castro brought all the Cubans over to was it Florida? So every country is going to get rid of its trash or its prisoners or its bad people or whatever. That's why I think America is made up of trash from every single culture and race. It's the trash. Why else would you leave your country if you're doing good and take a risk on a boat when, you know, back then they didn't even have Tylenol? You know what I'm saying? A bad period could kill you. You know, a weird little flu could kill you. So, yeah, man, like they just lying to us. They erased our history and they got away with it. And we let them.
They ain't erased it. It's all here. It's all in front of us. It's all over. The history's everywhere. But
that's why we don't know our grandparents. That's why we don't know our great grandparents.
That's why I believe that people get so caught up in the one thing. I don't care what country, what landmass you from. You got to study all the land masses. Yep. You study everywhere is when you're gonna really know who you are. You're gonna really understand history, your history, because everything is connected in history. It's like all a puzzle is a map. It's all a puzzle.
Well,
yeah, look at it. Everything everywhere. You see part of your history everywhere too. You might find different connections opening your mind to different land masses, bro, in different places. We can't be just closed off to America, bro. Gotta open our mind past America.
Here we go. And guys, real quick, hang tight. Here we go.
Strike inside Nigeria. And so where exactly did the U.S. military just strike inside Nigeria? And how did they pull it off from hundreds of miles away?
Thank you so much, man. This is why Africa sold these FBAs. Pure brain. Shut up. Here we go.
First, let's talk about the location.
Our whole continent.
The strikes hit Sokoto State, right in the northwestern corner of Nigeria. This is a critical area because it borders the country of Niger. Security analysts have identified the specific targets as camps belonging to ISIS-affiliated militants. These are likely Islamic State, Sahel Province, or a locally affiliated group known as La Kerala. But why here? This region is seeing a dangerous shift. Extremist groups are moving down from the Sahel, specifically from Mali and Niger, into northwestern Nigeria. But the real surprise is how they did it. Unlike the drone strikes we often see in other regions, this operation relied on heavy naval firepower. The U.S. Navy launched Tomahawk cruise missiles, long-range precision weapons. These missiles were fired from a U.S. Navy warship positioned all the way down in the Gulf of Guinea, off the southern coast of West Africa. The operation was conducted by U.S. Africa Command. Crucially, both the Pentagon and the Nigerian Foreign Ministry confirmed that these strikes were carried out with the approval and intelligence support of the Nigerian government. But how did the Nigeria war started? To understand this, we have to look at how this country is divided into Muslim and Christian. The northern part of Nigeria is predominantly Muslim, with approximately 50 to 55% of the population adhering mostly to Sunni Islam, while the southern and southeastern regions are majority Christian, comprising about 45% to 35% of the population. Boko Haram, an Islamist militant group, is primarily based in northeastern Nigeria, specifically in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states. This group adhered to ISIS strategy and will eliminate everyone, whether Muslims or Christian, that does not follow their rule of law. Sadly, most of the victims are their fellow Muslims brothers too. Let's look at their bases. Boko Haram's strongholds are mainly found in northeastern Nigeria and the surrounding Lake Chad region, which stretches across the borders of Nigeria, Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. Among the most significant strongholds is the Sambisa Forest in Nigeria. This vast remote forest has historically served as Boko Haram's primary headquarters and training ground, providing a concealed base for planning attacks and sheltering fighters. Another critical area is the Lake Chad Islands. These swampy, difficult-to-access islands offer natural cover, making them ideal hideouts for militants. They function as logistics hubs and supply depots, allowing Boko Haram to move men and material across borders with relative ease. Further, the rugged terrain of the Goza Hills along the Nigeria-Cameroon border acts as a strategic fallback zone. Here, Boko Haram maintains camps and lookout posts, using the landscape to evade military operations. Finally, around the town of Bama in Borno State, Boko Haram has established logistical and command centers. This area plays an essential role in coordinating their operations and sustaining the insurgency in the region. But why is the Nigerian government unsuccessful in defeating Boko Haram? They face various problems, from lower budgets, manpower, to geography. The group operates in remote, difficult terrains like forests and swampy Lake Chad Islands, which are hard for the military to access. Nigeria's armed forces often struggle with outdated equipment, poor training, and logistical issues, limiting their effectiveness. Intelligence gathering is difficult because Boko Haram uses guerrilla tactics and small-scale attacks to avoid detection. Additionally, poverty, unemployment, and weak governance in the northeast allow Boko Haram to recruit easily, with some communities mistrusting government forces due to corruption and previous